Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marvel Future Fight v740 update live stream. This time's content will be Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings and Agents of Atlas. Thank you all for joining me here today. I appreciate those of you who have already answered the questions we've asked the audience before the stream started. And if you would like to answer those, you might even see your questions read on the air by myself and my friend Cage. And thank you to those of you who checked out the previous v730 3099 Armor Wars with War Machine mid-month update. This month, again, as I mentioned, we are focusing on an update inspired by Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, which just came out. Very exciting, along with Agents of Atlas. So we have uniforms for Shang-Chi, Swordmaster, Arrow, Wave, and new characters, Katie and Wenwu. There will also be new game modes that we are going to be revealing and talking about here. And good news, there will be stream rewards in this live stream you can earn by doing what you're doing now, and that is just watching. That's all you have to do. Stick to the very end of the live stream, and I will reveal what the code is and how you can redeem it to receive an in-game item. All right, well, let's get to it. But first, a very fast video, and we'll be back with my friend Cage.
Just a lot
to
take in with just that market video alone. So hello Kim and hello agents, and thank you for again joining us during the stream. We know the game currently is in mainnet right now, and you guys are so excited to get back in. And so in the meantime, you just have us, and we're going to walk you through all the different content we have, so that you can something to look forward to when you guys are in game. And also, by the way, just gonna give a bit of a shout out to just the creative team for helping us create, the overlays and all this, just everything around us. They did a great job just alluding to the theme of the update, which is of course Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is in theaters. Don't forget to check it out if you haven't had the chance. Like myself, become a fan, and it's we're excited. After all,
yeah.
That's what the update's all about.
About to say, looking stylish.
Thank you. I would say it was, after seeing the film, I felt inspired to wanted to step up my game during this stream. So that's what we're gonna do.
It looked like your new favorite hero. I like it. I like it a lot. I also like how you got the the rings going on behind you.
Like I said, the creative team did just a great work, just creating all of this. So like I said, again, just a shout out to all the hardworking team members out there.
Absolutely.
And of course, you can't see him right now, but our tech guy is also doing a great job. He's currently rearranging the lighting right now. Like I said, everybody's doing a great job to make sure everybody's going to have a great time with both this show and the update itself when it goes live again. So that's why we're here.
All right. Well, very good. Looking good, Cage. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about. But first, let's get into the first question that we asked viewers today. And that is, what are some characters you'd like to see T3'd in future updates? My answer was Dr. Voodoo. This is one of the first updates I worked on here. And I really like Dr. Voodoo. Of course, he has powers. He has stepped in before for Doctor Strange. I personally have a very strong affinity to the city of New Orleans and that area of Louisiana. So he's kind of a nice reminder of that. Let's see what the audience had to say, though.
I'm curious about that.
Okay, let me just pull this up. Essie Oshotzi, please forgive me if I mispronounced your name, says, I would like White Fox to get a T3 or a Transcended. Let's see. Sheldon Bones says, Magic is awesome and super strong. Please make her great. And then there's a really cute smiley emoji, like a little bit of blush. It's very sweet. John Henry Holiday says, we need Adam Warlock, Uni, and T3. He's so long forgotten and incredibly powerful.
Classic character. I understand that.
Yeah. Good call. Dallas Michael says, bring Emma Frost T3 with a Hellfire Ball update. Please, I beg you guys. That just reminded, that's my inflection.
Oh, no, I get it.
Hellfire?
Yeah, so, yeah, it's
The
going
Gala?
across.
Those fashion looks, Cage, they are gorgeous. From
No,
the
I will say
comic.
that for sure. I've seen several players ask for Emma Frost for sure. But one thing I do 100% agree on, yeah, the Hellfire Gala update, that would be a fantastic thing to see.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Now I want it. Now I want to change my answer to that one. We also have David Hita Perez saying Luna Snow T3, please.
Oh, Luna Snow actually is T3.
We have... Well, you got it, David.
Well, you still just need to get out there and just gotta get those T3
Emma
materials.
I mean, he's not the only one. Scarlet YW also says T3 Emma Frost with 2 diamond emojis.
She has a big fan club.
I like your emoji choice, but yeah, Emma. And then we have, let's see, Ultron T3 from Daniel. My name is Killer Jack 1789 says Nova tier 3. There's one more. Donald Stetzel says T3 for Sabretooth.
Sabretooth. Wow.
So yeah.
Don't see too many requests for Sabretooth. So yeah, good on you for that.
Yeah.
I would say I myself kind of peaked my dream because my favorite character as when I was younger was definitely Venom, and Venom actually did receive his T3 update. And that was an update that got me psyched. It was a whole symbiote update. That update included Scream. She didn't get T3, but just having Scream in there as well was just that was a dream come true for me, honestly. So that would be my. I already peaked.
I don't think you have. You just got the character you wished for. There's still a lot to come. We've all got a lot to come because now is actually time for the showcase of new uniforms.
That's right.
See, wasn't that flawless?
Brilliant transition. Thank you, Kim. This is why they pay you the big bucks. So currently we have, of course, we're going to go and jump straight into the TV character you guys want to see, who is the star of this update. But before we get to him, let's jump straight into the new characters that were added in this update. Starting with Katie. So Kim, what can you tell us about Katie in this look, if anything?
Well, you and I agreed that we would not be spoiling Shang-Chi at all in this stream. So you can watch the stream and not worry about that, at least from us. I have committed to not spoiling anything, but Katie is actually Shang-Chi's very old, good friend. And that's about as far as I can go with that.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, because of it, we're keeping it a spoiler-free stream. We're going to be very limited on, of course, of the background information that we can share. So with that said, we're just going to jump straight into the skills that make Katie Katie. And before I jump into that, unique thing in terms of passive skills, something that's helpful is her leadership skill, which is the perfect teamwork, in that it provides Shang-Chi a 60% buff to his basic attack. So she's definitely going to be a good support for Shang-Chi. Also, I might end up mispronouncing his name. Apparently it is Shang-Chi, so I'll make sure I get that correct.
Well, you're learning, and I appreciate the effort.
Thank you. And here we have Katie. She's all set to go. She is a speed superhero, if you haven't figured that out already. So we'll go ahead and start with her skill number 1, which is the quick blow. She just jumps up in the air, delivers a quick arrow, and that causes the enemy to be stunned. Skill number 2 is the countless arrows. Let's see how this goes.
Whoa.
I lost count of the arrows that were used.
I could not count them. There were so many.
I think that makes it appropriately named. As you can see, this as well. This countless barrage of arrows does at least 30% bleed damage for every second that this skill is active. Now let's hit up skill number 3. Let's move on to these guys over here.
Oh, nice.
You get a nice little buff there. Let's take a look at that again. This is the Promise of Justice. This grants 100% damage immunity while also increasing your basic attack.
Do like justice.
Gonna move on over here to one of my personal favorite skills. So this is the Powerful Arrow. So take a look at this. So what's interesting about this skill, this is a skill that can actually be better implemented by pushing and holding the skill. So take a look at the arrow as I use the skill over here. So how far does the arrow go? You can see it doesn't go that far.
Whoa.
So if I'm going to actually push and hold the skill, let's follow how far this arrow goes. That's right.
Oh, hey.
By pushing and holding the skill, this arrow actually goes through past the map and beyond. So that, like I said, by pushing and tapping the skill, it provides more of a buff there, and deals up to 50% bleed damage for every second that is active, paralysis, briefly ignoring your target's immunity, along with a chance to penetrate their super armor and increasing your overall basic attack and defenses.
Did you mention before that this is not exactly the live build?
So that's a quick note here. Of course, players notice something a little bit different about this stream is that the patch notes are actually also live currently on the forum.
Mm-hmm.
So something to keep note is some of the information that we may share here may differ from the information that's currently on the patch notes, and then it might even differ from the live build itself as information continues and stats continue to be changed over time. So just keep that in mind. So some of the information we may share may end up being a little bit different when the build goes live later on tonight. So just something to keep that in mind. I'll do a little refresh here. All right, let's move on to skill 5. Did I say skill 5? Yes, this is skill 5, which is the storm shooting.
What? Oh!
Yep, we're gonna try that again. Move on to these guys over here. She fires a few shots in the air and it just rains down from above. Again, this is another stunning attack that causes bleed damage. At the same time, it also decreases your enemy's defense. So it makes this skill actually more interesting. We're actually going to move on to the dev notes and see what they have to say because they elaborate more on this skill. It is the skill 5 arrows, which we just performed, will continue to rain even if you cancel. It is then best to use skill 4 to obtain the penetration buff or combine it with other skills. So let's go ahead and take a look at that with other skills. So we're going to fire it once. There's another skill. As you can see, regardless of the skill I use, the arrows continue to rain down, so it allows us to come up with different combination of skills while also obtaining that buff. So recommended skill combination we have is skill 3 cancel, 5 cancel after shooting the arrow in the sky, and then full charge. Let's try it.
Okay.
Skill 3, get that buff. I'm aiming the wrong direction. Let's try that again. And then as his arrows come down.
I don't mean to alarm you, but my cat is in the room.
Oh no, the cat's in the room. You have a surprise. Yes, hello cat. What is your cat's name again?
Her name is Minnie, but
Aw,
yeah,
Minnie.
maybe she won't come on screen.
Okay, I get that. Little guest star. Nothing wrong with that.
You and I were talking before, and I was like, no, the cat won't show up. And yeah, okay.
There's nothing wrong with a little guest appearance from a cat. Everyone knows that. She's more than welcome. Anyway, that does it for
I want to
Katie.
focus on our next character, actually.
All right.
Thank you, Cage.
So we're going to move on to our next character, which is the fearsome Wenwu.
Yes. And I'm really not sure how to describe him without spoiling anything. But Wenwu is a very powerful adversary. And Cage, maybe you can describe him.
Again, it's difficult to say anything without going dwelling into spoiler territory, but we can say he is the fearsome warrior and leader of the 10 Rings organization. And he's a fitting antagonist to the protagonist, which is Shangchi, which we'll get to later. But let's focus on some of the unique things, what makes this character unique. For example, for his one of his passive skills, the Ancient Leader, villain allies that are given a debuff actually will have all debuffs removed and given a 10% recovery to their max HP. For his tier 2 Will of the 10 Rings, he gets a superpower. He gets super armor, which grants a 5% defense to his 5% buff to his defense. In addition, he is given a 30% buff to his skill damage and 20% buff to his bonus damage.
Whoa.
And just that
He looks
animation alone,
powerful.
yeah, he is powerful, as you would be when you have the 10 rings.
He looks cool too with his black and maybe a little bit of blue.
Black
going on.
black is in. Well, black has always been in.
Yeah.
So let's take out
All
out the active skills. Moving on to skill 1. It's pretty neat. Check it again. This is the Sinister Strike. This is a stunning attack that deals up to 100% of your energy damage. All right, move on to this group over here. For skill number 2, Dark Violence. It was just so neat is just when you do the skills, if you pay attention, you can actually see just the way the rings are orchestrating around him and just being used on his enemies.
Oh man.
It's just an energy-based energy attack. Then move on to skill 3. So what makes this skill unique is that similar to Katie's ability, this is another skill that actually you can use to charge up. Let's see it. By charging up, you can also see that you were given an HP increase. or you can recover HP.
Nice. Yeah, he has a couple ways to do that, huh?
Yeah, this is a stunning attack that grants you 15% of your HP, while also guarding against several hits as well.
I love an HP recovery.
Most people do. Moving on to
Yeah.
skill 4,
no,
which
I
is...
tend to need it.
That's skill 3 again. We're going to go ahead and move on to skill number 4, which is the Warlord's Threat.
It's threatening.
Just so yeah, that is a skill alone went on for a good amount of time. Let's take a look at it again.
I would say it's more than a threat, truly.
This is a skill that decreases your enemy's basic defenses while increasing your overall basic attack and defense, and more. That attack goes on for quite a while, and as you can see, as I'm moving around, the skill actually follows along with me.
Nice.
Take a look at it one more time, because this is actually the first time I noticed that too. Get enemy's defense, so I can move about the field, and this attack goes along with me.
Personal bubble.
And yep, anybody who's hit gets their defense decreased. Now we're going to move on to skill number 5, which is absolute control. A lot of very powerful, potent sounding names. Let's check it. So what I like about this skill is a lot of his other skills are more. He's what I appreciate about the character, that he is a character who's both combined as both combat and blast as well. So his other attacks are more ranged, while this specific attack is actually close ranged. Again, this is another stunning attack which causes incapacitation with an 80% chance to penetrate your enemy's defense. You can see he just moves in and just gives him a barrage of just damage. Alright, just gonna move on. I'm gonna reset this real quick. We're gonna move on to what the developer's notes say. Most of Wenwu's attacks utilize the 10 rings, extending his attack range despite being a martial artist, as it was mentioned before.
I see this.
Skills 3 and 4 scatters the 10 rings to attack while gaining a buff. Skill 5 does not use the 10 rings and attacks enemies only with martial arts. Therefore, it is best to use skill 4 first to use as a buff. So for the recommended skill combinations, I recommend 4 and 5 or 3 and 5. Let's test it. Let's get that buff from 4 and use 5. Nice. And while that's going on, skill 4 is still going out and doing damage. Now let's test 3 and 5. That was weak. Let's push and hold the skill and then use 5. Nice. And that is the fearsome Wenwu leader, appropriately titled the leader of the 10 rings.
Yeah, he is intimidating, I will say. I don't want to be having him not on my team. Shang-Chi has his work cut out for him, truly.
He does. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the star of the update himself, and that is Shang-Chi. So you have Shang-Chi here looking all fine and dandy. We'll say I do like his jacket. It's a very stylish look, and it's made out of a special material, which you'll have to watch for in the film. And I gotta say, I loved it. I appreciated it so much. I had to pick up a jacket that was similar. So, that said, what can you tell us about Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu?
Well, without spoiling anything, he is a master of hand-to-hand combat and a skilled martial artist who has trained from a young age.
That's right. Some of the unique...
That's as far as we can go.
It's very difficult, especially with the movie out. We want to make sure people will be able to enjoy it and not have to worry about content being spoiled. So I
haven't even seen it yet, so for me,
I gotta look out for my own as well. So for the uniform itself, some of the perks that come with this uniform alone is that skill damage has been increased to 35%, and bonus damage is 25%. And basic damage received any basic damage that you yourself receive is given a 40% decrease. So just that alone for a uniform is pretty good.
I love his fighting stance.
For his passive skill changes, the Chi Reflect has been renamed to Flowing Strikes, and when using Flying Kick, which is skill 1, we'll go more into that later. When Flying Kick, skill number 1 is used, cooldown for the Staff of Punishment, skill 5, is reset. So that allows you to keep going on doing those attacks, hence the Flowing Strikes passive skill.
Very good. All
right, that looks good close up. Now let's see the skills.
I love the way these movie-inspired uniforms look.
very true to the film that they're based on. So we're going to do skill number 1. He has been given all new skills. So let's take a look at skill number 1, which I mentioned, which is the flying kick. Yeah, pretty basic, nothing too fancy there, but the visuals are just always nice to see. Skill number 2.
Nice.
Good use of the special staff there. This is the bow staff strike, which causes paralysis.
Well,
pretty nice. Groups,
sort them all to one side.
Groups them all together. Come back to this group here for skill 3. As you can see, this is more of a buff skill. This is the Master's counterattack. This skill, what makes this unique also is that it can actually target foes with the ignore targeting effect active. So you just kind of...
I ignore your ignore.
It channels the attack and then goes with the strike.
Nice.
Bring people back. Also, thing to note is that also what makes this skill helpful is that it also recovers HP and reflects a percentage of their of the damage received. And this is also regardless of the enemy's defense. So that's enough of that. Let's move to skill number 4. You can see the discipline he uses in this attack as he concentrates each and every single strike with purpose.
Is this endless attack?
That's right. This is endless attack, which as you can see, it's an incapacitating barrage of attack that ignores 100% of your enemy's ignore defense. Or ignore dodge rate, my mistake. Move on to skill 5. This is the Staff of Punishment. It's another stunning attack that causes actual burn damage while granting a 30% buff to your overall attack and defense and more.
Nice.
Alright, now we're here for the main event. As you can see, of course, as it was clear in our first teaser, Shang-Chi receives his T3 ultimate skill.
I'm ready. Oh, cool. Nice.
The name of this skill is Tranquil Focus. So what makes this skill unique as opposed to other T3s which we've seen in the past is that this skill is more of a very potent buff. So let me go into the list. There are many things to share about this particular skill, but again, we don't want to list all of them, bore you with too many stats. So just for starters, it grants you full HP. Chain hit damage receives a high percentage increase when attacking. You'll also be able to attack enemies with the ignore targeting effect active for a brief period of time, while also dealing an increase in all basic attack and by 90%, and it'll increase your attack by 90% for a brief period of time.
Sweet.
And again, some of the stats I say may actually be inaccurate, or they may be off by a little bit. Again, as we mentioned, some of the stats end up changing over time, but at the time we currently have for these current notes, these are the current effects. And that does it for the Master of Kung Fu himself, Shang-Chi.
Yay!
But we have much more.
In theaters only.
That's right. But of course, as you mentioned, Kim, we have another team that actually receives an update as well.
That's right.
And that
Let's move on to them.
Agents of Atlas. So of course, this wasn't really shown much in the teasers, as we only teased that they were given Awakened skill, but of course they were given a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the new additions that were made with these skills and uniforms. But there's a little bit of these ones are a little bit different, which in this case I'm actually going to talk about the dev notes first before diving into these characters' skills. So for starters, this is Wave. This is Arrow. And this is her classic uniform.
That's right. We've seen her before in a few different iterations. Arrow is an agent of Atlas who can sense, generate, and control the wind with the power of a hurricane, which you will see very soon.
That's right. Do you remember what her name is?
I think it's Leyland.
I think you beat me too. You probably pronounced it better than I was going to pronounce it. But yeah, I think it's Lei Ling. Lei Ling, I believe, is the name. Or you probably have the name in front of you. And get that.
I do not have the name in front of me. I'm very lucky I answered the question.
So for those of you in the comments who know her actual name, go ahead and put it in the comments and correct us. So as far like I said, I'm going to go into the dev notes first. And as for the dev notes, this uniform makes it easier to utilize skill 3. The dash motion, which is used in skill 3, has been removed and can also be cancelled quicker. Secondly, the attack per accumulated damage dealt from the effect in skill 3 has also been enhanced. The advancing motion becomes faster, which makes it more useful when combining with other skills. So, to understand more about that, let's go ahead and actually see the skills in action. Yep, so we're going to go and take a look. So again, not many of her skills, the skills that have been given to her are actually more subtle for the stats effects, in addition to, so don't expect like completely new skills. These are more enhancements. So let's start. So skill, this is a whirlwind. This is an example of a skill that hasn't been changed, but we're going to move to skill 2, which is the arrow smash.
Nice.
So visually you can't see much, but these, as I mentioned, some of the subtle effects for this is that it increases the basic attack damage by up to 50% for a brief time. Take a look at skill number 2 again. Alright, actually that single guy has had enough. Let's move on to this group here for skill number 3, which is the Raging Wind. So for those of you who are Arrow fans, you'll notice that again, there's a difference in the animation here, as the advancement or the rush that she or the dash that she does has actually been removed. Another big difference is that this attack heals 15% max health, in addition to other effects as I mentioned earlier. Move on to skill 4, which is a Wind Bomb. This attack applies super armor, increasing your basic defense, while at the same time granting you damage immunity. And this is the Death Tornado.
What a name. Huh? Accurate.
This skill doesn't have too much of a difference. But again, what makes these, the prime thing that makes these characters unique for this update is that these characters, as we mentioned earlier, have been given an awakened skill. So let's take a look at the Tornado Orb.
Whoa.
Right, all the
Hello, friends.
All the Angels of Atlas join together to wipe out their foes. So again, there's as usual with these awakening skills, there is a long list of stats. So we'll go ahead and go list for this skill. We'll list the majority of the stats, and then separate what makes each character's awakened skill a little bit more unique. I'm gonna go ahead and use this skill again. Again, this is the Tornado Orb.
Whoa.
Now this is the awakened skill. Each character, so what makes this skill unique is that each character in this particular skill causes paralysis while silencing their foes and decreasing your enemy's overall attack and defense, while increasing your critical rate and damage for a given certain percentage. But what differs for Arrow is that she has a 35% increase in dodge rate, while an additional 80% chance to penetrate your enemy's super armor and defenses, and more. And that does it for Arrow.
Very nice. Thank you, thank you.
So you all in the comments can let us know how you feel about her new look, and also the new changes that come along with this uniform as well.
Let's look at another classic uniform, though.
This is Swordmaster. What can you tell us about Swordmaster and his new classic look?
Swordmaster. Well, he's a young man whose father and brother disappeared after confronting grave robbers. Swordmaster has a magical sword from his father that he uses as he searches for him while being pursued by demons. Fun fact, he has met Shangchi in his travels.
I do recall briefly reading that. That's right. So there's a little connection for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and read the developer notes for this one as well. So the cancel timing of skill 5 has been moved up, improving the damage cycle. With this uniform equipped, the defense decrease debuff is added to skill 2. Using skill 2 frequently, which has a short cooldown, is effective. The invincibility will allow this. The invincibility and the all damage immunity effects for skill 5 will make this useful in PvP content. So let's take a look at these actual skills. Actually, we go ahead and actually mention some of the perks that come with this uniform. When wearing this particular uniform, when hit, there's a 100% chance to receive all damage immunity. And his passive tier 2 skill, Strength from Within, the super armor receives a higher defense buff along with his additional skill damage. So let's take a look. Remember, skill 1 is the Chain Slash, which does not receive any changes. Skill 2 is the Thorough Slice, which has the added effect of decreasing your foe's defense. And of course, this this little stack can actually be stacked. I just like using the skill. You can see he does an attack and then dashes through. That's always cool. Skill 3 is the first blade blow. Nothing too new with this one, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into skill 5.
Ooh.
Visually, there hasn't been too much of a change, but as far as the subtle changes, damage being, it grants 100% physical attack and it counts more easily canceled. Just go ahead and jump into his new awakened skill, which is the Sky Slicer.
Oh no, arrow. Just kidding.
Wave jumps in as well. So in addition to the other stats I mentioned earlier that were similar to arrows, what makes his differ a little bit is that, for example, let me go ahead and take a look at my notes here. Yeah, that's right. In addition to the similar skills we mentioned to arrow, the difference to Swordmaster skill is that he has a 50% chance to ignore your enemy's defense and is granted a 50% additional additional buff for his next attack. Take a look at his skill from his perspective. Comes in with a few slices, followed by wave, and concluding blow from arrow. Or Swordmaster.
Teamwork.
Right. And that does it for Swordmaster. Let's go ahead and move on to the next skill.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next character for the Agents of Atlas, which is Wave.
That's right.
Yeah, she's a new
in a classic uniform.
What can you remind us about Wave?
Well, she has always had an affinity with the water and was a very strong swimmer. So she used her expertise in certain experiments done by a secretly nefarious company. She was exposed to mysterious energies while drenched in water, which gave her the ability to control water to her will.
Awesome. I believe we added Wave, I believe, was it the 80th anniversary, I believe, for Marvel. Was that correct?
That was the update before I started doing updates, so
it seems so long ago.
That's on you, Kate.
No, you got me there. Yeah, I vaguely recall. Yeah, making her. We briefly added her a while back. Yeah, so let's go ahead and go into talking to more about Wave herself. And part of the perks that come with this particular uniform is that her skill damage is increased by 15%, and her bonus damage receives an increase of 10%. She receives a change to her tier 2 skill, which is the Wrath of Waves, as damage to supervillain has increased from 40% to 50%. That's a little 10% buff there for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at her skills. Again, I'm going to read the dev notes first. So with the effects of this new uniform, is that the number of summoned characters from skill 3 from her Hydra clones and the damage from skill 4 are increased. The summoned characters from skill 3 and the whirlwind from skill 4 can be cancelled and combined with other skills. Alright, let's take a look in action. So skill 1, the barrel slice, which adds got a little bleed going. We're going to skill number 2, which is the aqua carve. So my personal note from what I've seen from skill 2, I believe players can correct me on this, but I believe what makes this skill visually different is that I believe it pushes enemies a tiny bit further than the original skill. Like I said, if you guys notice that when you guys test out the live build, let us know in the comments. Now, skill number 3 is what the main one of the highlights of this new uniform is that now, as opposed to 2 Hydra clones, there are 3 Hydra clones. I use skill 5 there, but I'm going to use skill 3. And move on over here. Yeah, to do more damage, you can make use of those special clones.
There they are.
Move on to skill 4. Remember skill 4 for this one. This is the arrow whirlpool, and this does a little bit more damage. Move on to skill 5. Smash of the 7 Seas, but I've received a note that nothing new has been used with this skill, so we're going to move on to her awakened skill. This is Call of the Sea. And so most of her awakened skill actually is similar to Swordmaster and Arrow, with the exception of she has the additional ability to increase her damage of her next attack by 50%.
Very good.
In this case, I use skill number 2. And there you have it for the Agents of Atlas. And
Very good.
That's just for the character updates.
Yeah, that's just for the characters, the new characters, and the uniforms we have. But there's more. Oh yes, there is more. Show us, Cage. We have a legendary battle, don't
That's
we?
right. As you've seen in the patch notes, the legendary battle received an update based on the new film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which we will check now. To access it, you're going to go to the main menu, go to challenge. As you can see, the legendary battle has been updated right here. And we're only going to give you a small teaser, so we're just going to check out the first stage.
And if you're like me and you haven't yet seen it, you won't be spoiled by this. Don't worry.
Yes, all the scenes here
I would be quite upset.
Yes, these scenes are influenced by the movie, but they're not actually the same. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to be using Katie for this stage. Let's take a look.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I think you'll enjoy this.
Just a tiny bit jealous that you've already seen it and you're looking the part, but you know what? I'm happy for you, my friend. I'm happy for you. I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you.
I'm happy as well, because I just know that there are many other people will enjoy when they get to see the film as well, in addition to that, with the update.
Great.
So give it a brief moment. Looks like it appears to be downloading.
Yeah, you know, this isn't the final build. It's a separate build.
All right, well, if loading, why don't you go ahead and Kim, why don't you go ahead and let us know the other questions that players have asked us.
Yeah, I could do that. All right, so the other question we had was, what Shang-Chi update characters are you excited to use or upgrade? And let's see. Let me pull that up. Thomas Stewart says T3 buff is insane, though. He'll sweep no CTP, no supports with it. Mr. Means, I thought that said memes, but it doesn't. Wenwu is the best one.
Sorry,
Okay.
Kim, I'm going to put you on a brief hold for a brief moment. We haven't mentioned to my tech guy. Can you bring us to the... I'm going to go ahead and go off game and close this real quick and do a quick little reboot. Sorry about that, folks.
All right. Bring me into the center. All right.
It's not happening.
We have Dario Lamberto. No?
Give me a brief...
You all right, Cage?
Oh, no, we're fine. Sorry, go ahead and continue.
Okay. Let's see. Dario Lamberto says, I'll transcend wave for support for sure. Marian Robinson says, Wenwu skill 4 looks dope. What was the name of skill 4? I'm just checking my notes right now. That was Warlord's Threat, and I agree with you. I remember that. That was the bubble that traveled around with him. And it was quite threatening. I will agree. Luis Valdez says Katie. Smash Gaming says Shang-Chi, all caps. That's how you know they're excited. Yu-Gi-Oh! Games said a spoiler, and I'm not going to read it. Naked X says Wenwu is so cool, followed by 3 sunglasses emojis. Let's see. Raha Krishna says Shang-Chi gonna kill PvP. I mean, get ready for it.
I mean, with that T3,
David Calderon says Kim's cat should get T3.
I 100% agree.
My cat should not have T3. No, have you ever met a cat? Cats should not have that power. Everything would be destroyed in the world. You gotta have control, and I don't know if my cat has that.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go through 2 more responses,
Diet
and then
Fox
we're all set on our end also. So let's go through 2 more responses.
2 more?
We'll do 2
All
more.
right. Says Shang-Chi is the buff king. And I don't know if that means like he has buffs or like, he's buff.
Or both.
Could be either way, as far as I know. Or both. Why not both? And Thomas Stewart, our friend from Question 1, says Shang-Chi's about to be so meta. I didn't mean to read that so sarcastically, but there were a lot of O's in the so.
I'm sure you read it exactly as intended. So we have the build working again.
I think I sounded a little sarcastic.
I think it works. So we did manage to get the build working. We're gonna jump straight in. All right, now let's watch the first episode or the first stage.
Right.
Again, we have Katie. We're active. Let's go. Down to Midtown Manhattan.
Okay. Nice. I do like a cinematic.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Shangchi's still
bus.
looking
I know this from the
stylish.
trailer. Personally partial to that look.
They were showing some awesome skills. Who's waiting at the end there? Ooh.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble
I
now.
like how I love how it's just he elegantly just slowly sidesteps a bus. A bus.
You know, when your skills are that high, you do. That's just how you are.
Hey, look, Herb, looks like Katie's okay.
Okay, good, good.
Ooh, but you have Wen Wu. This man took down a bus.
Yeah, he's got the rings. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Interesting. Katie's gonna so in a fight with the devastating Wen Wu, Katie is the one that chooses to step up. Let's go. So I'm actually gonna use some of the
Sometimes you just have the spirit, even if it's maybe story-wise you're not the most likely choice. Alright.
Get that
Do you
buff.
think you can handle this?
Oh, I got this. I'm actually gonna
You got
start
this?
using some of the little cheat notes the dev gave me by implementing the little skill combo that they taught me.
Oof. Oof.
Can move around a bit.
Don't get hit.
These guys are just beat me. Okay.
Ugh.
Terrible skills. I'm actually gonna start using it.
Just don't get hit. I mean, I say that like it's easy.
Are you for real? Don't fail, please.
No,
I
Cage,
did
play
so good.
better.
I did.
Play
I was doing so
better,
earlier.
Cage.
I was doing it better when I was testing this out. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm just deciding to just.
No, don't get hit.
Oh, hang on. You know what? You know what? Well, okay, I do have a defense. My skill 2 isn't. My skills aren't working right now because he has ignore targeting.
I see.
So how long is he supposed to be doing this for? Because I've noticed my skills aren't. You know what? This might be bugged, and I'm not just saying that because I'm sucking right now. Yeah, you know what?
I don't know.
There is a bit of a. You know what? I apologize.
This
It
is-
seems to be a
It's
bit.
a different build.
You know what? Okay, so the skills are working again. Cool.
All right.
Skills are
Can you
working.
come back? Can you mount the comeback?
Yeah, some of my skill buttons aren't working. You can actually see on
Oh,
the
dear.
screen some of my. Okay. Well, we'll see.
All
You know,
right.
maybe I can. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm doing
mean,
something.
yes.
wrong? No, unfortunately, this is a bit of a bug. We apologize for that, folks. I'm just gonna let him take me out and try it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try it one more time and see if I can get past that.
Hate to see it.
One more time. One more time. You gotta give the audience something to see. We don't want to show them a bugged build.
Well, you know, it is what it is. Do your best.
All right, let's try this. Let's play this right.
Oh no!
Get that buff. Get that countless arrows. There, let's do this. Come on. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, we're good.
Okay, yeah. I'm seeing he's mixing up his moves again.
Yeah.
That's good. Fortunately for everyone, you do not have the final build right now,
I do not. So,
as the game is in maintenance mode. So logically, this cannot be the right build.
okay, we're doing far better. All right, so there you go. Oh, hang on. Cool. He's done. All right, let's do it. Let's finish it. Let's finish it.
Redemption.
Let's charge up that attack. Boom. That's it. There you go.
All right. Whoa.
No, all that hard work.
Oh. Oh no. Oh. Told you, too powerful. Oh, she's back.
Oh, and that's the end of the stage. So, what happens next? Only one way to find out, and that is to actually play the remaining stages, and the build goes live later tonight.
All right. Well, you have it set out for you,
That's right.
but there's one more thing for you to show off today, whatever time it is.
That's right. We have one more additional game mode to show, and let's take a look.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on to the challenge section here, and players will notice if you move a little bit more to the right, find a new game mode. That is the timeline survival game mode.
This sounds extremely fascinating to me, but I would love it if you could explain it.
This is a game-changing type of mode. So one thing you'll notice is just this has more of a game board type of setup. Now, the general setup for those of you who also already read the patch notes is that you, the agent, have to fix the different anomalies taking place in the timeline. In order to do that, you have to take out the different supervillains that are wreaking havoc in said timeline. In this case, the timeline is taking place in the form of a game board. As you can see, there's a variety of different things to look up here. First to set up, you're going to create your roster using having at minimum 3 characters. On the top right, you'll see that the season ends in 16 days, usually around 2 weeks. And the for characters, you can take a look at your characters here. In this case, the characters have already been pre-made for me for this particular build, and I have 9 characters in this case. Survival effects, these are a different type of buffs that you're given over time by traversing the board, which we will do briefly. And in the bottom left-hand corner here, you'll see what is referred to as temporal energy. This is the energy, or this provides me the move set, the amount of spaces I can move, because each time I move on a tile, that takes up energy. And of course, you look on the top left-hand corner, you see threat level 1. Of course, as the harder the game mode, the higher the threat level, the better the rewards, the more difficult the bosses and whatnot. And different tiles. Again, there's so many things to go over, but we're going to do this one at a time. So there's a landmark here. I'm going to go ahead and step on this, see what happens. For this landmark, survival effects can be selected here. So I'm going to go ahead and step on this landmark here. Now, when you enter a landmark, you're given what is referred to as survival effects. Survival effects can provide you buffs or debuffs. In this case, I have the option to select a different buff. So let's see what we have here. We have increase for blast types. Decreased damage received from universal types, increased mutant race defense. I don't have any mutants in this current set, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and... I do have Wenwu. I'm just going to go ahead and actually select that buff.
Good choice.
I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next tile. And of course, you can see at the bottom left-hand corner for the temporal energy. Temporal energy can be refilled by either playing or it'll either recharge itself over time, or you may come up on a space and it may end up recharging your temporal energy. So... all right, so I have the option now. I've moved on the game board. Should I move left or should I move right, Kim?
Left.
Left, sure thing. So right here we have a little battle going on for the reward, where we will be given a survival token, which we will go over later on. Let's go ahead and take a fight.
All right.
Of course, this is a Shang-Chi related update, so why not just use Shang-Chi themed related characters?
Yes.
I did receive a nice little buff for Wenwu, so I'm going to go ahead and... oh, okay, I forgot. So for this particular one, battles can be done by using all 3.
Wow.
So the battle ended up quick because, again, this is a threat level 1. Therefore, all the battles are going to be easy for me. These characters have already been beefed up. But as you can see...
I thought he was doing a move, but it was his final,
It was the move, all right. It was the move that ended it all. So for this particular set, you'll notice that all 3 characters can fight at once. Similar to Shadowlands in a sense. And after I won, I was given a reward. In this case, I was given tokens. These survival tokens can be used in the in-game shop, or in the shop within this particular game mode, which I can use to buy other items and whatnot. So, as you can see, there's another tile that looks similar to the tile we just landed on, but it is a different color. It is a green color. Colors that represent the level of difficulty. So again, we completely wiped out a gray tile, which is for normal. Let's go ahead and check out a green tile, which stands for advanced. And you can see the villain info. We're going to face against Green Goblin, Scorpion, and Electro. Blast type characters have an advantage at this stage. Does that matter? Nope. All right, let's do this.
All right. Maybe they'll be more challenging.
Didn't even have a chance to even use it, barely use the skill.
They weren't. Again, 2 seconds.
I got myself
You're
another
too
token
strong.
there. Let's see if we can find a different type of tile. I do see a purple tile later on down the line, and I have 2 spaces left. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this green tile here. Again, another fight in Midtown. I'm going to go ahead and use Agents of Atlas for this one.
All right. Let's see if it you can get something other than 2 seconds.
We got a 1.5 seconds. So there you go. There's improvement.
Oh boy.
Okay, not to fret. We still have one more space left, and as you can see, what makes us different is that we have a space on the left and we have a space on the right. We also have the ability to move all around, but there's a different one here, which is a shop. So just for the sake of time, we're just going to take a look at the shop. Shop. This is where you can buy useful items for battle. Items are chosen randomly. So let's go ahead and just use our remaining move on that.
Shop.
And with this, we have the ability to take a look at different things available. But what doesn't help is that I cannot afford anything at the moment. So the reason being,
You're
if you
really
notice,
strong. You just can't afford things.
that's right. So these, as you can see, these tokens are like 30, 70, 30, 18, but I only have 4. But also, if you notice the tile I landed on, it was a purple color, meaning that the shop presented items of higher value. Hence, I would need more tokens over time. And yeah, so unfortunately for this portion of the show, I actually am out of temporal energy, and because of that, I'm just gonna have to wait over time. Or if I were to continue moving on, I would maybe end up completing the course, or I'll step on a tile that will allow me to unlock more space. So I was also currently given a note from my tech guy. Oh,
that
that's right.
looks
Okay,
like a note for me.
That's for Kim. Actually. I'll let you take care of that. But as far as real briefly regarding the timeline survival, again, in terms of the timeline survival, again, you can look at more details in the patch note itself. That is currently in the Marvel Future Fight forum. Anyway, I myself personally excited. I like this as a new strategic way to just refresh the style play of the game. So we look forward to seeing how far you guys get in terms of threat level. What are the different team you guys choose? What are your guys' thoughts overall on this new game mode and more? Again, this is a massively packed update with new characters, new uniforms, new game modes. So we look forward to seeing what you guys have to say when the game goes live. And that does it.
All right, absolutely. Well, I guess it's time to wrap up then. We have gone over quite a few different things today. New characters, Katie and Wenwu, new uniform and tier 3 for Shangchi, new uniforms for Arrow and Swordmaster and Wave. We also have a new legendary battle and new timeline survival. And I guess that leaves one final thing, and that is your in-stream reward. You watch the stream, now you get rewarded for it. The coupon code that I am going to share with you today is Wenwu. The case does not matter. You can uppercase, lowercase, it just has to be Wenwu. WENWU. So you can enter that, and the validity period is now through 1 a.m. PDT. That is, after the maintenance period goes down, it should be 2 solid hours after that it is valid. So please be sure to enter your code during that time. There are 2 ways to do this. The original procedure for only Android, enter the coupon code in the coupon menu of the in-game setting menu, or the new procedure, if you're on iOS, is what you should do, which is enter the coupon code on the coupon registration webpage. There should be a URL for that posted very soon, either as a pinned comment or in the description. If you do not see it within a little while, I would refresh, and hopefully you will see it then. And good luck, agents. Thank you for joining us today, and we wish you well on your journey through v740, Shangchi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings, along with Agents of Atlas. I'm pretty excited for what's going on here. Cage, any parting words?
Just remember, the patch notes are currently live on the Marvel Future Fight forum. And of course, don't forget to check out Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in theaters now. You'll enjoy both. We're sure you'll enjoy both the film and the update itself. Plenty of fun to be had all around. Agents, thank you again for joining us during this time. You guys be safe, and you just have fun.
All right, agents. Till next time.